My name is Mufti Menk, and I welcome you to a place of peace, reflection, and guidance, a sanctuary for your heart and soul. Here, we remind ourselves that patience preserves your beauty, that every hardship is softened when you trust Allah's plan, and that fear fades when faith grows. We will reflect on the power of dua that revives the spirit, the endless mercy of Allah that meets you where you are, and the hope that should never leave your heart. Together, we will journey through life's tests with calm, gratitude, and trust, finding light even in the darkest moments. If you seek reminders that awaken the soul and bring peace to your days, you are in the right place. Subscribe, join our growing family, and let's walk this path of faith together, one reminder at a time. My brothers and sisters, when the heart is calm, the face tells the story without a single word. You can try to hide your feelings, but the soul always speaks through the eyes, through the tone of your voice, through the way you carry yourself. When your heart is restless, it shows in your expression, in the heaviness of your steps, in the way you look at people. But when your heart is at ease with the decree of Allah, when you have truly submitted to His wisdom, you carry a serenity that no hardship can take away. You could be going through challenges, but your face will still reflect a certain light, a beauty of contentment that no product, no surgery, no treatment can ever create. There are people who go through very little hardship in life, yet their faces are tired, their expressions are harsh, and their energy feels heavy. And then there are others who have been tested again and again, yet when you look at them, you see peace. You feel comfort just by being in their presence. What is the difference? It is not wealth, it is not comfort, it is not even perfect health. It is the condition of the heart. The one who has placed their trust entirely in Allah, who knows that everything that happens is part of His perfect plan, walks with a certain lightness. They do not carry unnecessary burdens in their heart, and because of that, they do not carry unnecessary stress on their face. Allah tells us in the Quran, indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. When the heart finds rest, the face follows. The lines of worry soften, the constant tension in the brow relaxes, the eyes begin to shine. This is not an accident, it is the outward reflection of an inward truth. The body and the soul are connected, and when you nurture your soul, your body responds in ways even science cannot fully explain. We live in a time where people spend so much money and energy trying to look younger, trying to chase beauty, trying to fight the signs of aging. But the reality is, beauty is not something you paint on your skin. It is something that flows from the state of your heart. You can spend hours in front of a mirror, but if you spend no time in front of your prayer mat, the peace you seek will not settle within you. The light of the face is a gift from Allah, and it is given to those who remember Him, who turn to Him in gratitude and in hardship. Think about those moments in life when you are deeply troubled. You can feel the heaviness in your chest, and it shows in your face. But then think about the times when you stood before Allah in prayer, pouring your heart out, releasing every worry into His hands. The moment you say Ameen with full trust, you feel a weight lift off you. That weight is not just lifted from your heart, it is lifted from your expression. People notice. They may not know what has changed, but they can feel it. That is the beauty of inner peace. It is visible even without words. Some people ask, how can I find this peace? My life is full of problems. My heart feels heavy. The answer is not in running away from your problems, but in facing them with the understanding that Allah is greater than them all. Every difficulty is temporary. Every trial has an expiry date. And every moment you place your trust in Allah, you are telling your heart to be still. You are telling yourself, this is not the end. My Rabb knows, my Rabb sees, and my Rabb will take care of me. That certainty softens the sharp edges of stress that age the face and tire the spirit. When you are content with the decree of Allah, you stop fighting the flow of life. You stop questioning why certain things didn't happen your way, and you begin to see the wisdom in what did happen. This acceptance brings a deep calm that no storm can shake. It doesn't mean you don't feel sadness. It doesn't mean you never cry. It means even in your tears, you know Allah has a plan. And when that knowledge settles in the heart, the face reflects it with a glow that is rare in this world. There is a story of an elderly believer whose face shone with such peace that even strangers would ask them, "What is your secret?" And the answer was simple: "I am content with whatever Allah writes for me, that is it." No expensive creams, no complicated routines, just pure submission to Allah's will, day after day, year after year. This kind of beauty is not fleeting, it only grows with time. When the heart remembers Allah often, it is constantly reminded that this life is temporary, that our struggles are part of our journey, and that our true home is in the hereafter. This perspective removes the unnecessary anxieties that weigh on so many faces today. It allows you to smile even through hardship, to be gentle even when life is rough, to radiate kindness in a world that can be harsh. And that, my brothers and sisters, is a kind of youthfulness that never fades. You will notice that people who carry grudges, jealousy, or constant dissatisfaction tend to look older than they are. It is not just the passage of time, it is the toll of a restless heart. On the other hand, those who practice forgiveness, gratitude, and trust in Allah often surprise people with their age. It is because their hearts are not burdened with toxins of the soul, and that purity reflects outwardly. The more you purify your heart, the more it will show in your face. The more you fill your soul with Quran, with dua, with remembrance, the more your eyes will carry a light that no camera can capture. And the more you let go of fear, resentment, and constant worry, the more you will carry yourself with a youthfulness that has nothing to do with the number of your years. So nurture your heart. Speak to Allah in the early hours of the morning. Ask Him to fill you with contentment. Ask Him to grant you a heart that is pleased with His decree. Fill your days with remembrance, and watch how your face begins to mirror the calmness of your soul. Remember, the true glow is not found in what you put on your skin, but in what you place in your heart. And when you carry that peace within you, my brothers and sisters, you will carry a beauty that time cannot take away. My brothers and sisters, one of the heaviest burdens a human being can carry is the weight of an unforgiving heart. It is a burden that does not just affect your soul, but it begins to show on your face, in your eyes, in the way you move through life. A person who clings to grudges walks under a shadow that no sunlight can break. Their features harden, their smile becomes rare, and their presence carries an invisible heaviness. This is because anger and resentment are like chains around the heart, and until those chains are broken, the soul cannot breathe freely. Forgiveness is not an act of weakness. It is, in truth, an act of strength that only the courageous can master. It is the choice to release yourself from the prison of bitterness. When you forgive, you are not saying that what was done to you was right, nor are you erasing the memory of the hurt. You are simply refusing to let it poison your heart and your life any longer. Allah, in His infinite mercy, has commanded us to forgive, not because the other person deserves it, but because we deserve the peace that comes with it. In the Quran, Allah tells us, "And let them pardon and overlook." Would you not like that Allah should forgive you, and Allah is forgiving and merciful? Reflect on this, my brothers and sisters. If we desire Allah's forgiveness for our countless mistakes, then how can we withhold forgiveness from others? Each time we let go of a grudge, we open the door for Allah's mercy to flow into our own lives. And when mercy enters, it heals wounds so deep that we thought they would never close. I have seen people who have gone through years of family disputes, deep betrayals, painful breakups, and they held on to their resentment for so long that it began to shape their very identity. But the day they truly forgave, you could see a visible change. The tightness in their faces softened, the heaviness in their eyes lifted. They began to walk lighter, as though they had physically put down a heavy load. This is because forgiveness heals not just the soul, but the body and the face too. Some people believe that by forgiving, they are letting the other person win or escape accountability, but the truth is, forgiveness is not about the other person, it is about your own spiritual health. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It eats away at your peace, it drains your energy, and it dims the light in your face. The Prophet Muhammad taught us to forgive again and again, not because the people around us are perfect, but because we cannot afford to let our hearts rot with hatred. When you hold on to grudges, you replay the hurt in your mind again and again, and every time you do, your body reacts with stress, tension, and even physical illness. This constant state of inner turmoil takes a toll on your appearance. It ages you, it tires you, and it leaves you looking weary even when you are not physically exhausted. On the other hand, when you choose to forgive, you are choosing to cut off that cycle of pain. You allow your mind and body to enter a state of rest, and this rest restores not only your spirit, but also your natural glow. Forgiveness is medicine, and like all medicine, it works best when you take it sincerely. You cannot say, "I forgive," with your tongue while keeping anger alive in your heart. True forgiveness means asking Allah to remove the bitterness entirely, to replace it with understanding, compassion, and peace. And this is not something you do once and forget. Sometimes you will need to remind yourself every day, "I have forgiven for the sake of Allah." Over time, this intention will cleanse your heart until the wound no longer bleeds at the thought of the past. Look at how Allah forgives us. We make mistakes daily, yet when we turn to Him with sincerity, He does not just forgive, He erases, He covers, He replaces our bad deeds with good, and He never throws those mistakes back at us later. This is the example we should strive to follow. When we forgive, we should let it go completely, without keeping a record to use in future arguments. This kind of pure forgiveness frees the soul completely, and that freedom will always reflect in your face. I have met people whose entire being radiates a certain light, even in old age. Their faces are lined with years of life, but their eyes sparkle, their smiles are genuine, and their presence is calming. Often, when you speak to them, you find they have mastered the art of forgiveness. They refuse to allow anyone to live rent-free in their hearts. They understand that this world is temporary and that grudges have no place in a heart preparing for the hereafter. When you forgive, you also inspire others. Your children, your family, your friends, they watch how you handle hurt. And when they see you choosing peace over revenge, they learn that dignity is not in holding on, but in letting go. This ripple effect can heal entire families and communities, and it begins with one person deciding, "I will not let this pain define me." Some hurts are deep, and forgiveness will not come overnight. That is okay. Begin by making dua. Ask Allah to give you the strength to forgive, to cleanse your heart from bitterness, to replace your pain with tranquility. You will find that even the intention to forgive brings relief, because you have shifted your heart's direction from holding on to letting go. Over time, this intention becomes reality, and your heart becomes lighter than you thought possible. Remember, my brothers and sisters, this life is short. We do not know how many days remain for us, and it is not worth spending them carrying hatred that only harms us. Forgive, not because the person was right, but because your heart deserves peace. Forgive so that Allah will forgive you. Forgive so that your soul can heal. And when your soul heals, your face will glow with a beauty that no hardship can dim. My brothers and sisters, a heart that lives in gratitude is a heart that never grows old. Gratitude is more than just saying Alhamdulillah. When something good happens, it is a state of being, a way of seeing the world through the lens of blessings, even in the middle of trials. When you train your heart to notice Allah's favors in every breath, in every sunrise, in every small mercy, you will find that your soul feels light, fresh, and alive, no matter how many years pass. This inner youthfulness naturally reflects on your face, in your smile, and in the energy you carry with you. Many people believe youthfulness is about the absence of wrinkles or the smoothness of the skin. But what truly keeps a person youthful is the spirit inside them. And gratitude is like water to that spirit. It nourishes, refreshes, and revives it again and again. When you live in constant appreciation for what Allah has given you, your heart does not get weighed down by what you lack. You become content, and contentment removes the restlessness that ages the soul. Allah tells us in the Quran, "If you are grateful, I will surely increase you in favor." This increase is not only in wealth or material blessings, it is also in peace, in happiness, in the ability to see beauty where others see nothing. A grateful person can look at a simple meal and feel as though they have been given a feast. They can sit under the shade of a tree and feel as though they are in a palace. This ability to recognize blessings in the smallest of things keeps the heart constantly alive and prevents it from falling into the dryness of dissatisfaction. The opposite of gratitude is constant complaining, and my brothers and sisters, nothing ages the soul faster than living in a state of complaint. When you are always focusing on what is missing, you are feeding your heart with negativity. This negativity reflects on your face, creating a heaviness that no amount of external care can hide. But when you shift your focus to the blessings you have, your health, your faith, your family, the air you breathe, you will feel a lightness that immediately makes you look and feel younger. I have met elderly people who, despite their age, have an energy that is infectious. Their eyes shine, their laughter is genuine, and their presence brings joy. When you speak to them, you quickly realize they are deeply grateful souls. They thank Allah for the smallest things, for the ability to walk, to see, to taste food, to pray, to breathe another day. Their gratitude keeps their hearts soft and young, even when their bodies have aged. Gratitude also protects the heart from envy, which is a poison that eats away at peace. When you are truly grateful for what Allah has given you, you stop comparing your life to others. You no longer waste your energy on jealousy because you understand that Allah's blessings are distributed with perfect wisdom. This acceptance not only keeps your heart at peace, but also preserves your emotional health, which reflects in your outward appearance. In moments of hardship, gratitude might seem difficult. You may wonder, how can I be thankful when I am suffering? But this is where the true strength of gratitude shines. Even in difficulty, there are blessings: the blessing of patience, the blessing of faith, the blessing of knowing that this trial is an opportunity for your sins to be forgiven. When you can find something to thank Allah for in the middle of a storm, your heart becomes untouchable by despair. That resilience gives you an inner beauty that no hardship can erase. Gratitude is also deeply connected to remembrance of Allah. The more you remember Him, the more you notice His gifts in your life. And the more you notice, the more thankful you become. It is a cycle of light upon light. Each Alhamdulillah, you say, plants a seed of joy in your heart, and over time, that joy blossoms into a glow that others can see, even if they cannot explain it. One of the most beautiful effects of gratitude is that it shifts your perspective. Instead of seeing life as something you must endure, you begin to see it as something you have been gifted. Each day becomes an opportunity to experience Allah's mercy in a new way. And this excitement for life is what keeps the soul young. You wake up with purpose, you carry yourself with positivity, and people feel uplifted just by being around you. My brothers and sisters, if you want to slow the aging of your soul, fill your days with shukr. Start your mornings by thanking Allah for allowing you to wake up. Thank Him for the ability to move your body, to breathe without struggle, to see the light of day. Thank Him for the food you eat, for the shelter you have, for the people who care for you. And most importantly, thank Him for the gift of faith, because without it, none of these blessings would truly bring peace. When you live in this constant state of appreciation, you will notice something miraculous. Your problems will no longer dominate your thoughts. They may still be there, but they will no longer define your mood or your outlook. Gratitude shifts the weight of your attention away from what is wrong and places it firmly on what is right. This mental and emotional shift not only preserves the beauty of the soul, but also has a direct effect on the body. Science may not fully explain it, but the connection is real. A grateful heart produces a lighter, calmer, and more radiant face. And remember, gratitude is not only in words, it is in action. We thank Allah not just by saying Alhamdulillah, but by using His blessings in ways that please Him. If He has given you wealth, spend it to help others. If He has given you knowledge, share it. If He has given you health, use it to serve. Living in this way multiplies your blessings and deepens your gratitude, creating an endless cycle of spiritual youthfulness. So, my brothers and sisters, make gratitude your daily companion. Let it be the first thought when you wake and the last thought before you sleep. Train your heart to look for blessings in every moment, and you will find that your spirit remains fresh and your face continues to radiate with joy no matter how many years pass. Every soul will be tested, and there is no life free from hardship. The difference between a heart that remains youthful and a heart that grows weary lies in how we face these tests. When a person rushes through difficulty, desperate for it to end, they often carry anxiety, frustration, and anger in their heart. These emotions are heavy, and they show in the eyes, in the face, in the way a person moves. But when a person embraces patience, true, deep patience for the sake of Allah, they walk through storms with a calm that protects not only their soul, but even their outward beauty. Patience is not just about waiting for time to pass. It is about holding firm, with trust in Allah, until the decree unfolds in the best possible way. It is about accepting that there is wisdom in every delay, in every unanswered prayer, in every detour life takes. When you believe that Allah's timing is perfect, your heart stops fighting the pace of life. You stop forcing solutions and start allowing Allah's plan to blossom naturally. This surrender brings a peace that shows in your very expression. Allah tells us in the Quran, indeed, Allah is with the patient. To have Allah's closeness during a trial is greater than having an immediate solution, for with His closeness comes strength, guidance, and light. And when that light enters the heart, it reflects outward, softening the features and calming the soul. Life will put you in moments where everything feels uncertain. You may lose a loved one, your livelihood, your health, or face betrayal from someone you trusted. In these moments, the temptation is to let panic take over. But panic leaves marks not just in your heart, but on your face, in the tension of your eyes, in the lines of worry across your forehead. Patience, however, is like gentle rain on the skin of the soul. It soothes, it refreshes, it keeps you soft even in the harshest of seasons. I have seen people go through trials so intense that others could not imagine surviving them, yet they emerged with faces glowing with calm and dignity. They did not allow hardship to harden them. Instead, they allowed patience to polish them. This is because patience is not passive, it is active faith. It is choosing to believe that Allah sees your struggle, hears your prayers, and has not abandoned you, even when the storm has not yet cleared. Many people age before their time because they live in a constant rush, trying to force life into their preferred schedule. They cannot bear to wait for change, so they exhaust themselves fighting against what is already written. This inner struggle takes a toll, but those who choose patience, who take each day as it comes, trusting that Allah's timing will never harm them, carry a gentleness in their faces. Their smiles are real, not forced, because they are not in a constant battle with reality. Patience also teaches us to handle people with grace. There will always be those who wrong us, test our limits, or speak harshly to us. If we respond to every offense with anger, we will carry that tension in our bodies. But if we respond with patience, we protect our own peace. This does not mean accepting injustice without action, but it means acting with wisdom and calm, not with rage. The one who can hold themselves in moments of provocation preserves both their dignity and their inner light. In the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, we find that he faced unimaginable trials, loss, hardship, rejection, yet those around him described his face as always serene, always welcoming. This serenity was not because his life was free from pain, but because he met that pain with patience rooted in trust in Allah. His example teaches us that patience is a shield that protects not just our faith, but our very being. When you practice patience, you are also protecting yourself from despair. Despair is heavy, it drags the soul down, and it shows in the way a person carries themselves. Patience lifts you above despair by reminding you that no hardship is permanent, no night is endless, and every winter is followed by spring. Holding on to this hope gives your heart a softness that no trial can steal. My brothers and sisters, patience is also tied to humility. When we accept that Allah's knowledge is greater than ours, we understand that waiting is sometimes the greatest blessing. What you want now may not be what you need. What you see as a delay may actually be protection. Knowing this removes the restlessness that drains your energy and dims your light. You begin to walk through life with composure, carrying a quiet confidence that Allah is taking you exactly where you need to go. In times of hardship, make patience your closest companion. Remind yourself that every second you bear with grace is recorded, every tear is counted, every silent prayer is heard. Allah does not allow the patience of a believer to go to waste. Sometimes the reward is relief in this world, and sometimes it is treasures waiting in the hereafter. Either way, you do not lose, and so, patience not only preserves your beauty, it deepens it. It gives you a kind of beauty that is not in the skin, but in the calm of your presence, the peace of your smile, the steadiness of your heart. It is a beauty that time cannot erase, because it comes from a place that is eternal, your trust in Allah. So hold fast, my brothers and sisters. Be patient not only with life's trials, but with yourself, with your growth, with the journey Allah has written for you. And know that every moment of patience is a moment of light being added to your face and peace being added to your heart. There is nothing more powerful, more intimate, and more soul-restoring than raising your hands to Allah in dua. It is not merely an act of asking, it is a declaration that you know you have no power except through Him, that you trust His wisdom, that you submit entirely to His mercy. Every time you make dua, you are reconnecting your heart to the one who created it, and this connection has the power to lift the heaviest burdens and revive the most tired spirits. Dua is not just words leaving the lips, it is a conversation between you and your Rab. It is the moment when the noise of the world fades, and you stand in the quiet presence of the Almighty, knowing that He is listening to you in a way no one else can. It is when you can pour out what you cannot tell anyone else, your fears, your weaknesses, your secret hopes, your hidden pain. And the most beautiful part is knowing that you are speaking to the one who already knows it all, yet still loves to hear you call upon Him. Allah tells us in the Quran, "Call upon me, I will respond to you." This is not a vague promise, it is a certainty. Every dua is heard, every tear is counted, and every whisper from your heart reaches Him. The response may not always come in the form you expect, but it always comes in the form you need. Sometimes it is immediate relief, sometimes it is delayed until the perfect moment, and sometimes it is protection from something you never even knew was coming. When you make dua sincerely, you are unburdening your soul. The heaviness you carry, the stress, the grief, the confusion, it all begins to dissolve when you hand it over to Allah. This release is not just felt in the heart, it is seen in the face. The tension softens, the eyes become lighter, and the radiance of inner peace begins to show. That is why a person who is deeply connected to Allah through dua often carries a presence that is calming and beautiful, even in the midst of trials. I have met people going through immense hardship, yet their faces were lit with serenity. When you ask them the secret, they tell you it is in constantly speaking to Allah, in never letting a day pass without dua. They understand that dua is not just for when life is falling apart, it is for every moment, in ease and in hardship. It is a daily nourishment for the soul, like water for a plant. Without it, the heart begins to wither. With it, the heart thrives and blooms. The Prophet Muhammad would turn to dua for everything from the smallest matters to the greatest trials. His life was filled with challenges, yet he remained the most content, most balanced, and most radiant of people. His example shows us that dua is not a last resort, but a first response. It is the believer's constant link to their Lord, and it keeps the heart alive with hope. One of the most transformative moments in dua is when tears fall. These are not tears of weakness, but tears of release. Each one washes away a layer of heaviness from the heart. Each one carries with it the pain you could not express in words. And when you rise from such a dua, you feel lighter, renewed, and strangely stronger because you have handed your burdens to the one who can carry them with ease. Sometimes you may feel as though your duas are not being answered. You have been asking for the same thing for months, even years, and it has not yet come. But remember, my brothers and sisters, Allah is not ignoring you. His delay is not neglect, it is wisdom. He may be protecting you from a harm you cannot see, or He may be preparing you to receive something even greater. Trust that every dua is stored with Him, and that on the day of judgment, you will see its effect in ways beyond your imagination. There is a certain light that comes to the face of a person who constantly makes dua. It is the light of surrender, the light of knowing that no matter what happens in life, they are never alone. This light cannot be bought, it cannot be manufactured, it is given by Allah to the hearts that call upon Him with sincerity. Make dua in the stillness of the night, when the world is quiet and distractions fade. Raise your hands and speak to your Rab as though you see Him, and even if you do not see Him, know that He sees you. Let your voice be humble, your heart be soft, and your trust be complete. Speak of your needs, yes, but also of your gratitude. Thank Him for what you have before asking for more, and you will find your heart overflowing with contentment before your requests are even fulfilled. And remember, dua is not limited to asking for worldly matters. Ask for your faith to be firm, for your heart to be pure, for your akhira to be beautiful. Ask for the strength to forgive, the patience to endure, the wisdom to act with kindness. These are the duas that beautify not only your life here, but also your eternal life to come. When dua becomes a habit, life feels different. You walk with a certain ease because you know you have placed your affairs in the hands of the one who never makes mistakes. You smile more easily because you are not carrying everything alone. You radiate peace because your soul is in constant conversation with its creator. So call upon Allah often, my brothers and sisters. Let your dua be the place you run to when life overwhelms you, and the place you return to in moments of joy. Keep your hands raised, your heart open, and your trust unshakable. And know that every tear you shed in prayer is polishing your heart, making your face lighter, and drawing you closer to the one who can give you everything you need in this life and the next. My brothers and sisters, fear is a thief. It creeps into the heart quietly, and before you know it, it steals your sleep, your smile, and your peace. It drains your soul until life feels heavy, and it ages your spirit long before the years touch your face. Fear makes you believe that you are walking alone, that danger lurks behind every door, that your future is uncertain and your safety fragile. But when you trust Allah completely, fear loses its grip. The same heart that trembled yesterday begins to beat with calm, and the same mind that worried over every detail begins to rest in assurance. Trusting Allah's plan is not simply a phrase we repeat in times of hardship. It is a deep conviction that everything He allows in your life, whether sweet or bitter, has purpose. It is knowing that the delays you face, the losses you endure, the changes that disrupt your comfort, are all threads in a greater design that you cannot yet see. Allah reminds us in the Quran, perhaps you dislike something which is good for you, and perhaps you love something which is bad for you, and Allah knows while you know not. This verse is a shield against despair. It is the reminder that our knowledge is limited, but His wisdom is perfect. When you live with this trust, fear finds no place to settle. Even when you stand at the edge of uncertainty, your heart is at rest because you know your steps are guided. Even when a door closes, you do not collapse in grief, because you believe with certainty that another better door will open in its time. This trust is not blind. It is built on the countless times Allah has carried you through what you thought you could never survive. Think back to the trials you faced years ago, the nights you cried, the mornings you felt you could not rise, and yet here you are today. That survival was not luck, that was Allah's mercy, that was His plan at work. Fear ages the spirit because it makes you live in a state of constant tension. It robs you of the present moment, chaining you to what if and what will happen. But trusting Allah breathes life back into your soul. It allows you to release what you cannot control and focus on what you can, your intentions, your prayers, your effort. The rest you leave in the hands of the one who can never be overpowered. Many people carry fear of the future, fear of losing health, wealth, loved ones, or stability. But what we forget is that nothing we have was ever truly ours. Everything is a trust from Allah, and the one who gave it to us is fully capable of replacing it with something better, even if we cannot imagine it now. The moment you surrender your grip and let go of the illusion that you can control every outcome, you will feel the weight lift from your shoulders. You will walk lighter, you will breathe deeper, and your heart will beat in harmony with a peace that cannot be shaken by worldly changes. There is a light that comes to the faces of those who have learned to trust Allah fully. You can see it in their calm when others panic, in their patience when others despair. They have discovered the secret that true security does not come from bank accounts, status, or even perfect health. It comes from knowing that Allah is in control and that His mercy is greater than any hardship. This kind of trust gives you a beauty that time cannot take away. It keeps your spirit youthful, your smile genuine, and your presence comforting to those around you. I have met elderly people whose faces still glow with a serenity that defies age. When you speak to them, they will tell you that their secret is not in diets, creams, or exercises, but in their heart's relationship with Allah. They will tell you that once you stop fearing the unknown and start trusting the one who knows all, life begins to feel light again. You stop being pulled down by the weight of worry, and instead you rise above it. Even in the most uncertain seasons of life, remember that Allah is never unaware of your situation. He knows the pain you hide, the thoughts that trouble you, the fears you cannot put into words. When you place those fears before Him, they begin to shrink. The mountain you thought you could never climb suddenly becomes a path you can walk, because you are no longer climbing alone. And sometimes, trusting Allah means accepting that you will not understand everything right now. There will be events in your life that feel unfair, moments that leave you asking, "Why me?" In those times, remind yourself that every trial is either protecting you from harm, purifying you from sin, or preparing you for a blessing you cannot yet see. This is why a believer can remain calm even when life feels unpredictable, because they know that nothing is random, nothing is wasted. Let go of the fear that ages your heart and hold on to the trust that renews it. Live with the certainty that Allah's plan is unfolding in the perfect way, at the perfect time, even if it feels slow or painful. Fear may try to return, but each time it does, answer it with remembrance of Allah's past favors upon you and His endless mercy awaiting you. Your soul will remain youthful, your spirit alive, and your heart at peace, no matter how many birthdays pass. May Allah fill your heart with patience, your days with peace, and your nights with the light of His mercy. Keep your trust in His plan, call upon Him often, and never let fear replace hope. Until we meet again, stay steadfast, stay grateful, and keep your heart connected to Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.